In this video, we're going to take a look at a basic overview of a Moodle course and how to do some general settings so that your students and you can be set up for success. Moodle is a learning management system, or LMS. It's designed to deliver content to your students. In some cases, it may be a situation where you actually see your students on a day-to-day basis. Moodle can also be configured to where you could teach your students without ever seeing them. So it's designed to be very dynamic. It's used at universities as large as places like Ohio State, and it's also used at very small high schools, for example. So it's designed to be very versatile. So let's go ahead and take a look at what a Moodle course looks like. The first thing I'm going to do is show you an example of a course that does have a lot of content in it, just so you can get some kind of perspective on what a developed course looks like. In this example, this teacher has a lot of different resources in their Moodle course. For example, they have quizzes, folders, the PowerPoint, um, Word documents, links, so on and so forth. All right, so a lot of different materials in this course. This is a brand new course. Nothing's been added to it. It's just kind of the standard as is Moodle course. So let's talk about what we're looking at here. On the left and on the right are these rectangles. These are called blocks. And all block does for a Moodle course is a specific function. For example, this block right here, recent activity, will tell you and the students the things that have been done recently in this class, papers that have been turned in, forums that have been posted to, so on and so forth. On the left, this navigation block will allow me as the user to navigate Moodle. For example, I can go to my home, my profile, different courses that I'm enrolled in. Basically, a block just does a simple one function for a Moodle course. Right now, the thing we want to concern ourselves with is this topic outline. If you look down the middle, you see what looks like kind of bars. And they're numbered 1, 2, 3, all the way in this case down to 10. Ultimately, this is where you're going to put your content. Note in our previous example, you've got all the content sitting right here in this topic area, these topic bars, these topic outlines. Okay, so eventually you're going to have a lot of your content in here. If you note, there's one at the top that is not numbered. This one's really good for adding things like syllabus, contact information, things that don't necessarily pertain to anything you're teaching, but information that's good for your students to know. Okay, at this point, we're going to choose how we're going to set this up. Now, if you are maybe a high school, middle school teacher teaching a core subject, I'm just thinking of social studies, you're teaching world history. You might want to name these topics and organize them based on your units, based on chapters in your textbook, or however your curriculum's set up. So unit 1 might be, and actually this is an example of this. Here's unit 2 for this particular teacher. The name of the unit and everything that goes with this unit is going to fall in this topic section. Here's unit 3, same idea. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is to set it up by subject. This might work better if you're an elementary school teacher. You might have one subject, topic number 1, for example, might say math. Topic number 2 might say science. Topic number 3 might say social studies. Okay? Again, the most important thing you want to keep in mind when you're designing your course is your learner. What's going to be easiest for them? Okay? A successful course is going to be easy for a learner to navigate and to engage with. Okay, so let's take a look at how to set that up. I'm going to go down to settings block, and this is where I do a lot of my stuff as a teacher. I can turn my editing on, work with users, take a look at grades, do some backup and restore options. So this is a very important block. In this case, I'm just going to go ahead and turn, edit settings. And when I do this, it's going to take me to a page that's going to allow me to edit some general settings in Moodle. Let's talk about some things here real quick. Technology requests that you name your course with a certain naming method. And here's how it works. If you're an elementary school teacher, please name it grade. So let's just say I'm a fourth grade teacher. Hyphen your last name. Okay, for fourth grade, Hilton. Now, ultimately, this course is going to be put into a category um, that's going to be relevant to it. So you might have fourth grade Concord. Okay. Now, if you are using this for a just a resource, in other words, I'm not going to have students in this. Please note that in the naming mechanism. So, for example, I'm going to call this fourth grade resources, and then last name or names. In some cases, teachers like to use Moodle courses as kind of a library where you'll have multiple teachers who teach in the same grade put their resources. Then they can, at a later point in time, come in and check that out. So this might be Hilton, David, so on and so forth. Okay. If this is a high school course, what you should do is go ahead and name the course based on whatever the class actually is. So world history, and then your last name. Okay. The reason why this is important is to keep this organized. There's a lot of teachers in the district teaching a lot of different classes. The better we can name these, the better we can keep this organized. The reason why that's important is in the event that you have a question or you need some help with Moodle, we can very quickly look up your name, look up your course, and be able to address your needs. Okay? If you don't have this, if you don't have your name in it, it'll be a lot more difficult for us to find the actual course. Okay. Now, one thing to note with Moodle is anything you see marked in red is required. So, for example, course full name is required. And what I usually do is just go ahead and copy and paste that course full name into the course short name as well. We're not going to worry about ID numbers, course ID numbers. In this section, course summary, I can write a brief description about what my course is. If I'm teaching a high school, middle school course, and there is a description in the navigator, the course selection guide, you might want to put that in here. Again, this is an option that's also used at the collegiate level where there are multiple sections of different elective classes. Okay, two more important choices you're going to need to make is one is the format. If I go to format here, I'm going to click on this. There are several types of formats that I can use in Moodle. One is a SCORM format. We'll never use that. It's for a third-party software package. We won't use that. Second is social format. And in a social format, you're going to have people come in and just kind of do forums and chats. And it's designed specifically to be a place where students can come and interact. In the past, I've seen teachers who are doing cross-curricular work. For example, if contemporary issues in English are reading the same book, they might want to have a social Moodle where they can come in and discuss that book. The one at the bottom with the weekly format, we'll set it up specifically, and I'll show you what it looks like by selecting it. It's going to set the course up specifically using weeks. Okay. So if you look here, just down here at the bottom, it's setting up based on weeks. Now the drawback to this is if you design your course this way and something happens where you throw your pacing plan off or whatever it might be, as happens a lot, it's going to throw your weeks off. Okay. So what I would suggest is going with the most flexible option, which is topics format. This will allow you to name your topics whatever you like. It's going to allow you a lot more flexibility with it. Next choice you need to make is how many weeks or topics you need. Currently, the default set to 10. The best way to think of this if you're an elementary teacher is you'll want to have a topic for each subject that you teach, and then an additional topic for any other needs you might have, say parent communication or something along those lines. And you can change this at any time. It's very flexible. If you're working with a high school, middle school, say core type course, you want to set this up to the number of units that you have. Again, these are all just suggestions. You can set it up however you'd like to, but usually that's probably going to work the best. So for example, if I'm teaching that world history course, and I know I have 8 sections plus a final with review content, I might want to select 9 total topics. Okay. You also have some other choices here in terms of course start date. This is something you'll want to set up. Just know what the first day of school is and select that, and it will set your calendar and some other things up based on that first date. Um, you can choose whether to show the grade book to students. We'll talk about this a little bit later. Activity reports, again, this is something we'll discuss later. Maximum upload size, right now it's at 10. I would suggest go ahead and set that to the highest amount of size it is just to give your students that flexibility. You can allow guest access or not. You can set it to where if you do allow guest access, they need a password. And again, some of these other settings we'll talk about later. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom here and click Save Changes. So in summary, um, the items on the left and the right are called blocks. They serve a specific function, whatever they're designated to, within a Moodle course. In the middle is your topic outline. Each topic will contain your course materials. How you set this up depends on what you're teaching. Again, whether you are an elementary school teacher, you might want to set it up by subject. High school, middle school teachers might want to set it up by units. Again, it's completely up to you. Again, the most important thing to keep in mind is however you set this up, keep your learner in mind. And this has been a basic overview of a Moodle course.